Lucia, come have a look at this.
This is very elegant, isn't it?
I'll bring you all the best, didn't I?
Oh, you certainly do. I love it. Exciting.
Fine art restorer Lucia Scalisi may be thrilled about the handsome painted finish, but this desk is also connected to one of the 20th century's most important political movements. Susie Granfield and her niece Sophia are here to tell all.
Hello.
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 How you doing?
All right, thanks. How are you?
I'm very good. I can't complain, really.
Nice to meet you.
Good.
So this is absolutely beautiful.
It's stunning, isn't it?
So whose is it?
It's mine now.
Okay.
It belonged to my great-grandmother, Una, who is Susie's grandma.
Yeah.
She left me this desk in her will. I, unfortunately, don't have any children, so I've therefore left it to my eldest niece.
So Una was the original owner of this. Can you tell us about her?
Well, she was quite a remarkable woman, really. She was a leading member of the suffragette movement at the beginning of the 20th century, alongside her husband, Victor, who was also a very passionate campaigner for women's rights. They attended protests and they organised marches to protest against the lack of women's rights to vote. They did these tours, these speaking tours around the country, and Una organised two tours for the leader of the movement, Mrs. Pankhurst. And this desk is the place where she wrote letters to her fellow campaigners and read her correspondence and wrote her diaries.
But I remember her sitting at this desk.
Do you?
Yeah, absolutely. This bit would be up, and then this bit comes out, and then she wrote here. I saw her writing on many occasions.
How fantastic is that?
Yeah.
But the Pankhursts were really formidable
Yes.
characters, weren't they? Very strong women.
It's really quite inspiring how determined they were. Some of the activities that they were involved in were quite dangerous. The government were aggressive in trying to quash it, actually. They passed a number of laws that made it more difficult for the campaigners. She was imprisoned for a month after one of these protests.
There was much in prison to unnerve one. But I vowed when I went in, I would never shed a tear. And when I came out, I realized to the full, ever so much more, how important it was for women to have political power.
They were really very courageous. And in the drawer here, there's this sash that she wore at a protest in 1910, and these brown stains.
Yeah.
There's blood.
Whoa.
They were beaten by the police.
Oh, makes me shiver. Makes me shiver to think about it.
It was absolutely outrageous. When Una and Victor decided to get married, Victor felt very strongly that my grandmother should not use the word obey. Women did not obey men.
She applied to the church to see if she could get a special dispensation to not say the word. And on the morning of her wedding, she had a call from the vicar and he said, yeah, I've spoken to the Archbishop, and he says, no, you've got to say it.
You've got to say it.
She had to find a way not to say obey without not saying obey, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think they did it by way of a shuffle and a cough. And it caused a great scandal.
Practically every newspaper in this country wrote articles about this society wedding in England where the wife refused to obey.
It might sound silly and slight to us now, but it took us a long time to get here.
But she actually continued as a social justice campaigner for the rest of her life. We've got letters campaigning on behalf of black women in South Africa from the 1950s. And it was a sort of lifelong campaign, I guess.
It's unbelievable. It's such a small desk, but it has a big history.
Yes.
There's a lot attached to this.
Yeah, exactly.
What would you like us to do to the desk?
The thing that really concerns me is at the front here, this lovely sort of painting has been rubbed off.
You see? Can you hear that? That's where it rubs.
And then there's a great big crack just down the side here, which is obviously just making it a little bit more fragile than it should be.
One drawer has got... That drawer has got a little knob on it, little doorknob, and that one hasn't.
You know, anything that you can do to make it last longer, you know...
Just very permanent
it's just
reminder.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, it is very
a
beautiful,
reminder
actually.
Of, you know, where we've come from.
Yeah.
And hopefully where we're going as well.
Definitely. Thank you both for bringing this in. It's a real joy, and I can't wait to see what Lucia does to it.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah?
It's a beautiful, elegant piece, and I can't wait to have a close look at it.
We're just really looking forward to seeing what you can do.
I'm very excited as well.
Oh, good.
Well, you take care now.
Cheers.
Okay? And we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. We've got to sort out what's happening here where it's jamming.
So that's all going to rub off, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
I'll tell you what, I'll get Will on the structure,
the
and then
actual
you can do
body.
all the artwork.
yes.
Leave it with me.
OK.
All right?
Yeah, thanks, Jay.
This is absolutely gorgeous. I really like this. But the sad thing is, the front of this is really damaged. Before I do anything else with this, I'm going to give this a light clean back, and then I'm going to seal it with a coat of shellac polish. So Lucia can do her retouching to the decorative paint layer.
On a craft campaign of her own, Kirsten Ramsay has already taken charge of a rather unusual item. This mannequin has been the family mascot for Shelley Van Loan and her mum Rene for nearly a century.
Hello there.
Hi.
Hi. This must be yours?
Yeah.
Can you tell me all about him?
Oh, he's called Bert, that's the first thing. I called him Bert because my grandfather's name was Bert. Bert was in my grandfather's tailor shop in Hoxton Street in London's East End in the 1920s.
And all around him there were stands with materials over. People could choose what they wanted. And my dad used to cut out the material, my mum used to do the sewing, and we lived above the shop.
Oh, right.
We lived there until the war started, and then all hell broke loose.
During the Blitz in 1940, there was a pretty big bombing, and there was a bomb that went down into the cellar of the shop.
We were in the shelter across the road.
Right.
Myself, my brother and sister, and mum and dad. And when the all clear went, we came out of the shelter, and everything was smashed up, and it was just horrific.
Terrible, really terrible.
He was in the shop window.
Right.
And from the blast of the bombs, I presume, he was knocked over and all the clothes were ripped around, you know, all the stands were all over the place. It was such a shock. You know, you blot it out from your mind. It was so traumatic. It's unbelievable, really.
Terrible destruction, and quite incredible that he
lived through it.
Yeah.
He must have been a strong lad. Things were well made.
Yeah.
So was that the end of the business?
It wasn't safe to go back into there, so
Right.
after the air raid, so obviously we had to leave.
You must have lost your home,
Yeah.
your community, everything, the
We did.
business.
Yes. Yes, because it couldn't work from there anymore.
Yeah.
And they became market traders for years and years. I used to work with them occasionally when I was a kid, yeah. You know, he became kind of redundant because you don't take a mannequin to the market,
No.
unfortunately.
No, absolutely.
First we kind of saw of him again many years later was when I was a teenager and they were moving stuff out of the loft
Yeah.
and he came down the stairs and it was love at first sight.
Oh.
So I've had him since 1978, something
Right.
like that. But I've always really loved him because for me, he's my family history, you know. He stood in that shop for years.
Yeah.
And, you know, my grandfather had a successful business and he was part of it. And for me, that's absolutely charming. It's wonderful. And I always wanted to get him fixed up.
What would you like me to do with him?
Well, because he's 100 years old, I don't think we really want him to look too modern.
Yeah.
Keep him in that era, yeah.
Yeah.
So can you remember what he was wearing?
Top hat and tails, morning jacket, white spats and white gloves. He would have had striped trousers because that was the dress of the time.
I'm going to see if I can spruce him up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That would
Yeah.
be brilliant. It'd be really exciting.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's been so lovely to meet you. Thank you very much for bringing Bert in. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, thank you.
a sweet little guy, Bert is. But he does look quite worse for wear. I think he's probably made of papier-mâché. There's some quite extensive damage to Bert. And I'm used to stabilising quite small areas, and things like the fingers and the feet and the nose, that's absolutely fine. But I'm going to have to think quite hard about how to stabilise this whole body. All this cracked paintwork could just fall off. So it really does need to be stabilised, and I might have to pick a few brains in the barn. So for now, I'm just going to clean the surface, and I need to be really careful. He was originally wearing a full morning suit, a top hat, spats, the works, which makes me think of the most stylish man in the barn, and that's Jayesh. He might be able to help me make Bert look dapper again. I'll have to ask him.
The desk that saw many a protest letter penned in the name of Votes for Women has begun its long journey back to condition. Lucia is tackling the damaged paintwork, and Will has the woodwork in hand.
Whilst I'm cleaning around the outsides of this, it's given me more time to look at areas of damage. The majority of the inside is intact. The only things I am really missing are these really beautiful decorative knobs on the inside on the drawers. They need to be replaced. One thing I have found out, whenever you open up that top, it sounds like a scratching sound or some wood rubbing against wood, and I was worried that it was actually that paintwork on the front was rubbing along the inside top here, but it's not actually the case. I pulled out this insert here, and I realised this piece of wood at the back hasn't been nailed in properly, so whenever the back is slid open, it actually rubs against there, and it makes that noise. This should be quite a straightforward fix. There's a lot of work that needs to be done to this, but I need to carry on giving this a good old clean. Once I've done that, I can then turn my attention to these massive splits going down the sides.
I'm going to have to do some reconstruction of this lovely design here. It's quite badly damaged. I will start on the most obvious areas and then work out. And the obvious areas that I can work out, like this chocolate brown sort of wooded background behind this little archway, just to make this whole area a really pretty picture, as it was intended to be. Right.
Structurally, it's pretty sound, but this split on the side is a bit of an eyesore and actually detracts the attention away from the lovely decorative painting on the surface. I've cut up some strips of sycamore here. I'm going to glue these into that crack and it should hold those pieces together. Now, this is the least invasive way of fixing this. There's so much history behind this, and I don't want to really alter anything. It might not look identical with the surrounding area colour-wise, but once it's all glued and dried in place, I can then take off the excess wood and I can stain it to match the surrounding area.
This design, I'm finding it quite extraordinary. Whoever painted this was a talented painter. It's a very delicate painting, lots of glazes. The drying of it has caused the paint to actually shrink, and so there are cracks in it where the paint has pulled apart. So I'm literally dotting in just to bring the design together. It brings it all together rather than it falling apart. You know, I'm trying to do it justice, but it's not there yet. So I've really got my work cut out to sort of keep trying to pull this together.
I'm missing 3 very tiny draw pulls. Thankfully, though, I've got one existing one. Now, there are various ways I could make these up. I could turn them up on the lathe, or I cast them in resin, and that's what I've chosen to do. I've already made my mould. I should be able to mix this resin up, pour it inside. As soon as that sets, I should end up with a lovely, perfect replica. Need to add a tiny bit of white pigment. So I want the body of it to pretty much have that milky, yellowy, creamy colour. This is the moment of truth, right? I need to make sure that it fills the entire mould. A little bit more. Well, all the resin's in there now. Just gonna leave it to set now. I think it's the perfect time for a cup of tea.
Mannequin Bert is in line for a new outfit.
Would you mind if I quickly take some measurements?
I would love to see how you do this.
So I'm going to start off with his neck and work my way around.
OK.
With 2 repairs going swimmingly, Jay's lined up an aquatic assignment for silversmith Brenton West.
So you can swim?
Not the best.
You've got armbands then?
I got both.
You joker.
Dave and his son Lewis from Glasgow are hoping Brenton can get their sporting memento looking champion again.
Hello.
Hello.
How we doing? Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, dear.
That needs to be here, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a swimming trophy that my dad won.
OK.
But it's a thing we've been proud about, our father's achievement. Won everything there was to win in swimming, so...
Wow.
This represents just one of the things he's got. He's got lots of them.
What's Dad's name?
John Gardner.
OK. Tell us about him, please.
He started when he was about 12, 13,
Right.
him and his sister. It's just about all he had to do was swim when they were teenagers, post-war. And he was really good at it.
OK.
And he won a lot in the pool. This particular cup was a couple of miles in the sea.
Whoa, whoa.
In the
A couple of
Clyde.
In the Clyde?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
How old was he when he got this?
19.
Wow. And the Clyde is not very forgiving. That's quite... The temperature's cold.
It was cold, yes, and quite stormy, but he won it.
He must have been tough as nails then.
He had determination, and he said that's what brought him through a lot, was his sheer determination to win. Not long after he won that, he had to go in his national service, so that put an end to his swimming career.
Yeah, yeah. And did he continue it when he came back?
Joined the police, where he was a frogman for the police.
Was he?
Yes.
So he used his swimming in the police?
Yes.
Wow.
So he's like a hero then, basically, up there.
No, we all looked up to him. Great-grandfather for Lewis as well.
Yeah. And is he still with us or has he passed?
No, sadly died just a couple of months ago, actually.
Sorry to hear that. Has anybody else taken up swimming?
Yeah, my granddad taught me from a very, very young age. He just threw me in the pool. Literally like that, just threw me in the pool and taught me. My earliest memory is when at their old house, my granddad had said that I want you to keep this and just remember me and just pass it down. He was my hero.
So out of all the trophies that you've got from your grandfather, why this one?
I think it would have been his proudest moment winning that race.
Yeah. So it's the most challenging race he did?
Yeah, definitely by far.
And was it in this condition when he gave it to you? Because it looks like someone sat on it or something. Oh, there we go. There we go.
It was mislaid along with other things and moving house and all the rest of it. It's just been bashed about. It's not the most valuable of things, but it means a lot to us. We just want it restored and looking its best so we can just take pride in it.
Because you're proud of your dad?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see that. Well, thank you for bringing this in. I don't know how Brenton's going to do that because I've never seen you fix one that's twisted like that.
Not as bad as that, no.
OK. Well, hopefully we'll see you soon. All right?
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing it.
Take care now.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, seriousness, how are you going to fix that?
I don't know yet, but I've got ideas. You have to wait and see.
Oh, it's like that then. That's yours then.
Thanks. Wow. So this trophy, the slightly polished colour that I can see, looks to me like a nickel colour, and I believe that's what this trophy's made out of. It's had quite a bashing. Whether I get this straight without it falling off, I don't know. But I've got a little dent on the base, so I'm going to try and take the plastic base off so I can get inside. And I'm hoping it's just a friction fit. I'm just going to put a tiny little screwdriver in here and just give it a tiny little twist. I think I can feel it moving. That's the first time that trophy's been off that base since 1956. There's 60 or 70 years of dirt on here, and sort of just aging, and hopefully I can get this a bit shinier, make it look smart.
Kirsten has done her cleaning duty on Bert the mannequin and is now pondering how to restore his model good looks.
I had a chat with a few of my colleagues in the barn. The great thing with being here is that we've just got a huge wealth of experience, and I was really concerned about this flaking that's going on Bert, and having had a chat with a few people, I've come up with the idea to use fish glue to try and float onto all of these fine cracks. The fish glue is absorbed down in between the cracks and flows under the painted surface and then sets. It will then just make everything solid and hold it in place.
Kirsten's asked me to make a suit and a top hat for Bert. I have managed to source this lovely grey pinstripe cloth, which I'm going to make suitable trousers. When working with stripes, I have to make sure that the stripes match up on both panels, so visually the trouser looks perfectly balanced. Whilst growing up, tailoring was around me at all times. My father ran a bespoke men's tailoring business. The smell of cloth really takes me back. Me being around it, asking him questions, see what he was doing, and those are the memories that stayed with me. And even with him, he inherited the skill from his father. But yeah, I'm doing my best to make sure that the value of the craft lives on. Even the sound of the scissors on the table takes me back. There we are. So that's the front panel. Just want to make sure the trousers are mirrored SL. That's ready. Gonna move on to the next panels.
Bert is now stabilised, and I'm starting to fill in a lot of the chips. And obviously on Bert's face, I want him to look nice. So this is really all about cosmetics. What I want when this is finished is for you to look at him and think how dapper he looks, and not just to see that he's got big chunks missing. It'd be really nice to get this a lovely flat surface Then it'll be on to the retouching.
The trousers are now complete and really happy. I'm sure my father would be very proud. The next thing I need to start on is the top hat. Because I can't use standard hat blocks to make the top hat for Bert, I've sourced a mold which will help me shape the brim. I have prepped the fabric. I'm using hessian and the covering, which is going to be the black satin. The hessian will act as a body of the brim. Now, to give it a firm structure, I'm going to apply shellac crystals dissolved in ethanol. It will get absorbed into hessian, and it will create that rigid, sturdy finish that the brim needs. Right. That's done with the shellac. I'm going to use the hairdryer to solidify the shellac, and once that's fully done, I'm going to trim the brim to give it that finish it requires.
Hats off to Will, who has almost completed his work on the desk that played its part in achieving suffrage for women.
Well, I've finished casting the 3 missing knobs. One is going to go on the inside, which attaches to the other small drawer, and the other 2 are going to go on the front of the desk, so Sophia can actually slide that lid up. Now, I've mixed up some pigment with some polish, and I'm just trying to apply some really sort of thin coats onto the surface, and that should really sort of complete the look of the new knob. That looks like a pretty good match to me. I think it's time to get this onto the drawer. Right, let's compare them together. Now, I think they look pretty good. It's a really good match. I'm slightly nervous about getting the other 2 on the top of the desk because Lucia has been working very hard on that. But before I can get those onto the surface, I need to finish colour matching them.
The original owner of this desk, Una Duval, was a trailblazing suffragette who scandalised British society by refusing to say obey in her wedding vows.
Very exciting, this.
It's very exciting.
For Una's granddaughter Susie and great-granddaughter Sophia, the desk represents the effort and achievement of Una and her suffragette sisters.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi. Hello, Susie. Hello,
Lovely
Sophia.
to see you.
Lovely to see you again.
Hello, Will.
You okay?
Yes, rather.
Thank you. We're very excited about this.
So are we, I can assure you.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it a lot, so it's very exciting, this.
I'm hoping that it's looking a little bit more like a thing that I can't break very easily.
No, I think we need to have a look.
Yes.
Can't wait, I'm waiting.
Right, you ready?
Yes. Oh my goodness, look at that, that's amazing.
That is amazing.
How did you do it?
God, that is so impressive, isn't it?
That is incredible. Look at the paintwork. It's a work of art, that, isn't it? Oh, look, the little knobs are back.
Can we open it?
Please do.
Isn't that fantastic?
It is fantastic.
Oh, isn't that divine? That's really sweet. I can't get over the front there.
It's absolutely gorgeous. You've done such an amazing job. I'm really, really, really impressed. It's beautiful.
Absolutely stunning.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you both enough.
And hopefully it does justice to Una and the cause that she was fighting for. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The whole suffragette.
Votes for women.
Yeah, absolutely. the spirit of Una and the
Definitely
desk.
she has
yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Exactly.
Well, it was lovely to meet you both. I'll get this wrapped up and we'll ship it off to you.
Right.
Wonderful.
Thank you for coming down.
Thank you so much for having us.
I don't know how we're going to thank you enough.
Pleasure.
Right.
Bye-bye.
I think my grandmother would be absolutely over the moon. And I can just visualise my grandmother sitting there with her pen. I'm absolutely thrilled. I can hardly believe how beautiful it looks.
There is a lot of history wrapped up in the desk. And it's not just family history, but it's also part of our collective history. You know, the votes for women, the suffrage movement, the political campaigning, that is all wrapped up in that piece of furniture.
With the 1950s swimming trophy now off its base, Brenton can dip his toe in the tricky business of straightening.
So on John's swimming trophy, the worst part of the damage is this bend. Luckily, the stem itself is not bent at all. I'm hoping that I can straighten this by hand, just by putting some muscle into it and see what happens. I'm just going to need to limber up a bit before I do that because not as strong as I used to be. I don't want to push it too far because it might snap off, and there's also the danger that the whole thing would just fly apart. It's going. I'm absolutely amazed how well that came out. So the best way to tell if something is straight up and down is to spin it round, and if it's wobbling, if it's not straight, you can see it doing that. So I've got a little turntable here. Put this in the middle. I'll tell you what, that's as straight as it's going to be. I'm pretty pleased with that. This trophy's got quite a lot of dirt on it. I'm hoping that it will wash off with some wire wool and we can actually see what this metal looks like underneath. John's amazing swimming trophy is quite some achievement, and I can see why the family are proud that he won this and that they want it restored. Look at that. That little bit I've done almost looks like new now. This is quite satisfying to do this because this is going to look fabulous when it's all done. I've given this a really good polish and I'm surprised at how well it's come out. There is a dent in it which has become more apparent as I've cleaned it. So I've got a round hammer which hopefully will fit inside, and I'm going to try and tap that dent out from the back. So it's quite hard. I'm going to have to hit this quite firmly. And there, the dent starts to move out now. That's the dent removed now. I just need to file the edge down, give that a good polish, and then nobody will ever know it was there.
Thanks to Kirsten, the mannequin that survived a wartime bombing is looking much healthier, and she can now focus on getting some colour back in his cheeks.
I've done the filling on Bert. I'm now going to start retouching this flesh tone, just trying to get the paint to the right consistency. I need it to be quite opaque, but I don't want it to be so thick that it's textured, because this flesh is quite smooth. So I'm getting the right consistency just with a bit of water. Oh, Bert, you're looking lovely. this is really where I start to see the whole piece come together, and combined with the work that Jayesh has done on his outfit, I'm really looking forward to showing him to Rene and to Shelley.
Named after a much-loved father and grandfather, Bert has been treasured by his owners, despite damage sustained in an air raid. Today, Shelley has returned on her own. The 500-mile round trip to the barn, a bit much for 92-year-old Rene.
Hi, Shelley.
Oh, hi. How are you?
I'm very well.
Nice
Lovely
to see you.
Yeah, lovely to see you too.
Thank you.
This is Jayesh.
Oh, hi, Jayesh. Really nice to meet you.
Jayesh has been helping me with Bert.
OK. Oh, that's really exciting.
So how's it been without Bert? Have you been thinking about him?
I've missed him. He's been standing in my house for 40 years and he's only ever been a slightly broken, sad-looking mannequin. And I'm really, really excited to see him, as my grandfather would have known him, really.
Well, I really hope you're not disappointed. Would you like to see him?
I would love to see him, yeah, I really would.
Okay,
I'm very
great.
excited. Oh my goodness, he looks fantastic. Oh, you've made a tail suit and everything for me. Did you make the suit? Oh, thank you. He just looks amazing. And the hat.
And the top hat, yes.
Kirsten, his nose was so broken and now he's just beautiful. It's great.
You can take his hat off.
Can I actually?
Yeah,
Because, I'd love to just have a little look. It fits so well, you're so good.
Thank you.
Well, it's
Look,
bespoke.
oh, look! You put his name inside the hat. Oh, thank you.
It is Bert's hat, so.
It really is. Oh, that's so sweet. I can't tell you, I am thrilled to bits with him. He's beautiful. After all these years, he's really come back to life, hasn't he?
Hasn't he just?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've done it, obviously, with love and care, both of you, and that is so appreciated.
You're incredibly welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. And for my mum, she'll just remember him as he was and see him again, which is going to be so exciting.
Yeah.
Shall I bring her?
Yeah, that would be fantastic,
Yeah,
wouldn't
well, yes,
it?
please.
Should we see if it'll work?
Yeah. Reaction,
All four of us.
Yeah, all four of us. Right, Mum?
Yeah.
Are you ready to see Bert?
I'm absolutely
He looks...
waiting desperate.
Isn't he fantastic? Look,
He looks absolutely amazing.
he's great, isn't he? Are you pleased with him?
I'm absolutely speechless.
There we are. Yeah, have a look at this, Mum.
Oh, that's amazing. That's my dad's name, Bert.
Exactly. Isn't that wonderful?
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Thank you. That's such a nice,
Wonderful.
such a lovely touch. Thank you
Absolute
so
pleasure.
much.
You're welcome.
To see him as he would have been 100 years ago was just brilliant for me. He just looks fantastic. Really beautiful. I'm thrilled to bits with him. Really am. It makes me feel like I'm like that little bit closer to my grandpa again, which is lovely because we were really close.
Brenton has been buffing a prize-winning gleam onto the swimmer's trophy.
That has got a good shine on it now. So let's see if the trophy still fits. It should do. I haven't changed the shape of it, but you never know. There we go. So that looks fantastic. The dent, I know exactly where it was, has disappeared. This is a reminder of John, his achievements, what he did in the river that day, and it shows that a bit of hard work really pays off.
This trophy was awarded to a 19-year-old swimming champ in 1956 for braving 2 miles in the freezing Firth of Clyde.
I can see it shining from here.
It's good, isn't it?
Lovely.
Do you remember it before? It was bent right over.
Yeah, amazing. It looks so much better.
Yeah.
Back to collect a family souvenir, Dave and son Lewis, hoping it can take pride of place once again.
David, hi.
Hi, David.
Welcome back. Lewis.
Hi, Lewis. So have either of you been swimming in the Clyde?
Definitely not.
No.
How have you been?
Fine. I'm just curious how Brenton's been getting on with the trophy. It'd be good just to see it, just looking the way I remember it.
Yeah. Lewis, how about yourself?
I never saw it in its full glory, and that was always my dream, just to see it, just the way it was.
So I think we can show them now, don't you?
Absolutely, Brenton.
OK.
Wow. Can I touch it?
Of course.
Wow, that's the way I remember it. It's shiny. Just to see it like that, it just brings back so many memories. It really has.
A little bit easier to read the engraving now Brenton has spent so many hours polishing it.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot more crisper and clearer. Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you think, Liz? You've never saw it like that?
No. Wow. I can actually see myself in it now.
The smile on your face, Lewis, you look so chuffed.
Yeah.
Aye. My granddad was my hero. And maybe someday I could achieve something big like this. It just gives me inspiration.
Good.
Thank you both so much. It's been lovely to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Bye.
See you later.
To be reunited with my dad's trophy is just amazing. Just the quality of work that Brenton's done is absolutely wonderful. And just to see the detail, the engraving, the little hallmarks, etc. And you just forgot about all that. And now that you see it, we can show people with pride what it's about.
We're going to put the trophy in a display cabinet in our living room. And then I'll pass it down to all my kids and tell them about my granddad.